Hello everybody, my name's James and welcome to the final Planet FPL Deadline stream live of the season. We are just under an hour away from the 10:30 AM UK time Gameweek 37 deadline. And this feels weird doing a deadline stream on a Sunday, but oh well, it is what it is. I'm shooting straight away, guys, as soon as that deadline hits because I've got to get to Tottenham for the 12 o'clock kickoff. Right, let me take you through graphics. If you're submitting questions, please have a check of the graphics first because there's every chance that the question that you're asking, the answer may be on screen. Top right hand corner, you will see my team as it stands. I'm not going to promise that it won't change. I've made 2 free transfers. Gone are Mohamed Salah and Bukayo Saka. In are Heung-min Son and Wilfried Zaha. Captaincy is on Richarlison. You will see my top 10 captaincy picks in order of preference below my team on the screen. The preferred choice is Richarlison. I would go Zaha over Ings. I think those are the 3 standout as it stands for me personally. I've actually think of the single game week players, I'd have KDB top. That's partly because if you look to the left-hand side of the screen, my correct score predictions for all the games today, I think the City game might be a bit mad. And so that's part of the thinking behind that. Son slightly over Kane. Do not mind the likes of Dean and Cash if you want to go for a differential defensive captain. And I'm certainly sticking Phil Foden in my team this week. I've got him 10th on the captaincy list actually for this week. Again, partly because I personally, and it's a personal opinion, think the City game could be a bit of carnage. Right at the bottom of the screen on the grey ticker, you'll see remaining fixtures for all 20 teams. Anything highlighted in blue is obviously for this week and is a double game week. 2 game weeks to go, isn't it sad? And right above the grey ticker below me, you will see the benching dilemma screen, which I'm going to take you through now, where there are 2 players together. The player with the tick is the preferred captaincy option. Page 1. Cancelo over James, over Gordon, over Anderson, over Jacob Ramsey. Page 2, Ramsey over Weghorst, over Trent Alexander-Arnold, over Robertson, over Laporte. Page 3, Laporte over Mateta, over Dewsbury Hall, over Saka, over Mason Mount. Page 4, Mount over Cody, over Nketiah, over Rafinha, over Pukki. And page 5 is the goalkeepers. Pickford over Martinez, over Schmeichel, over Sarr, over Ramsdale. This has been the most difficult benching dilemmas I've ever done. So if you massively disagree with some of the stuff I've done there, then great. Good for you. Honestly, brutal this week. And part of that is trying to work out what Liverpool are going to do. And Jurgen Klopp basically said after the game last night, it depends what City do today. And he's basically said if City win, then we might throw in the towel. It's a joke. And I do think City will win today. So, I mean, that could mean anything for Liverpool assets on Tuesday. And there ain't shit way of knowing what that's going to look like before deadline. But I think, yes, we are looking at the possibility if Man City wins today of Liverpool mass rotating, possibly, like genuinely potentially mass rotating. If City slip up in any way, then I think the likes of Trent and Robertson, etc., will still play. But yeah, City win today, I think it could be a second team. I think it could go down. And that second team could still win very comfortably because they've got the strength in depth now. Right, that's the graphics on stream done. Just to clarify my team, so this is how I'm lining up at the moment. It's Schmeichel, Cash, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo, Gordon, Foden, Coutinho, Son, Zaha, Watkins and Richarlison. The bench is scary. Foster, Robertson, Laporte and Nketiah. I say I'm not locked in because if I get some clarification that Ollie Watkins is missing out, I am prepared to take the hit to bring Danny Ings in. But my thinking is at the moment, I don't think Watkins starts today. If I get some clarity, I'm happy to move, but I would be gutted if I move it and he starts. I think most people in Watkins are free hit, you don't go, you don't buy. For people like me, there's every case to say hold actually. And obviously he's touch and go for today, so there's every chance he's available for Thursday. And Thursday's the one from the analysis I've done that I really want him for. So I'm probably going to stick, and that probably is going to be my team, but I am open to the idea of changing something. Again, it could be team news dependent that forces something if I hear something concrete. Right, let's get into the questions. I'll try and power through these for you guys. If there's kind of repeat questions, please do the courtesy of deleting them. If you've got, like, if you're putting the question in twice, you just get muted. So don't do it. JP says, hi mate, what is your predicted Liverpool lineup? Ask Klopp. Joke, mate. As I've just said, I think if City win today, it might be a whole B team possibly. That said, City might win, and it still wouldn't surprise me if it's kind of a mix and match. Like, you could still have Diaz, Jotter and Mane up front. I think we have to assume the likes of Firmino start, for example. Again, and I covered this on Monday's podcast in detail, Liverpool's medical team will deal with the traffic light system and assessing how players recover from the final. And they've gone to extra time, so this is even more difficult than normal. And you could see, even just look at when Tsimikas scores, most of the Liverpool players can't get near him because they're fucked, they're knackered. It's impossible. Impossible. My instinct right now would be that the majority of them don't play. Now look, I've left Trent in my team, for example. And if Trent and Robertson both miss out, I'm relying on Laporte, obviously, to come in. Now Laporte did train yesterday, but I'm not overly confident with City clean sheet anyway. So I actually think I could end up with 10 players this week. But again, I'd be so gutted to take a -4 to remove a Trent. Or I'm dead unlucky if all 3 of them players miss out. I think if it's all of them, I'm dead unlucky. So decided a -4 wasn't worth it. Impossible. Literally impossible at this stage. Immortal Technique says, good morning and good luck everyone. Patrick Lawson says, morning James, good luck this week. Good luck to you too, guys. Gareth Payton says, morning James, would you do Vardy in for Watkins for a -4 or Mikalenko cash in for Laporte for a -4 or both for the -8, or at that point do I just free hit? Well, Gareth, I'm sticking to free hit 38 personally, so I presume you're in 1 week decision syndrome like myself. I can't say that I won't take hits. I have looked at that strongly, so I've actually got 2.8 million in the bank of that team, so I could go Watkins to Vardy and Laporte in for Dean, for example, but for -8 when I've got that amount of quality sitting on the bench potentially, I don't think it's worth it. If you've got a really weak bench, I think you feel more inclined probably to do it, but it's for 1 week. I think it's a no, Gareth. That's where I've come to, I think, generally on my conclusion. FPL Kakar says, hi James, with the Havertz hamstring injury, I'm starting to consider Lukaku as an option. Who do you think I should punt on, Lukaku or Vardy for the final games? Vardy now. I think subject to what you feel on Friday, Saturday, then potentially Lukaku for the final week. And obviously you could go Vardy now and Lukaku final day, right? Subject to what the rest is. But I mean, if you're going now, you go Vardy, I think. Project FPL says, is Nketiah to Richarlison worth a -4? The thing is, you're going to want to reverse that next week. Nketiah at home to Everton final day. If you're captaining him, I say yes. Ash says, free from Kane, Vardy, Richarlison and Ings. If I was free hitting, my front three would be Richarlison and Ings, definitely. And I think I would go Vardy at this stage, I think. JP says, if Kulusevski is out, do you think Spurs' attack is affected? Kane or Vardy in free hit? I think Vardy will start today, and I think that's the clincher, right? And then you've got 4 days to Chelsea. I think in Vardy's case, it's probably difficult to foresee him playing maybe Chelsea and Southampton. I guess that makes him a doubt maybe for Chelsea. But I think that game could be quite open, particularly if Tottenham or Arsenal do slip up in the next 36 hours. A Tottenham effective Kulusevski doesn't play, yes, absolutely, but that's all very subject to how Burnley play. So if Burnley really come in with a real low block, then it's potentially going to be a problem because we're missing a real element of creativity. If Burnley decide, as they have done the last couple of times they come to White Hart Lane, and what they do in most games, which most people do not realise, that if they go and press, then Tottenham can work the space between the lines, and actually the likes of Lucas and Son will get running at Burnley's back four and have some joy. It's completely up to what Burnley do. If Burnley are smart, they are not going to come and press, but they might still do it. Ludwig says, hi James, which three of Kane, Vardy, Ings and Richarlison do you prefer on free hit? I've just covered that, so I'm not going to cover it again. And which fourth midfielder would you add? KDB, Son, Zaha, around 7 to 8 million. Cheers. I would have added KDB. When actually, no, I'd go Zaha now. But I would have gone KDB over Son. I obviously couldn't because I've already got 3 Man City players in there. You could say I could have moved Foden on, but I didn't want to. I really didn't want to move Phil Foden on, and I'm not certain that he starts, but I think he does, personally. And I think he can have some real joy today, Phil Foden. So I already had treble City. You could say, yeah, you could move out Laporte, but I think Laporte trained yesterday. I think he probably plays. And I might need that as the insurance for Trent and Robertson, obviously. And of course, look, I'm predicting City to win 4-2 in my prediction. The defensive guys could easily get attacking returns. On that, Cancelo, by the way, I've had a lot of people saying, I want to bench Cancelo. If you want to bench Cancelo, I'm absolutely convinced you haven't watched Manchester City's last 2 games. Even though, yes, I think West Ham scored today as well. No chance. I could have that. Well, City could win 4-0 today, possibly. Cancelo should have had monster returns in that double game week. Absolute monsters. How he hasn't scored, I've no idea. So, I mean, very much due Cancelo, in my opinion. Yo says, Son, Kane, Gordon, or Zaha, Son, Ings, or Kane, Zaha, Coutinho. Option B, mate. Obaziri says -8 worth it while chasing mini leagues, taking out Salah for Son, Laporte for Mikalenko, and Odegaard for Madison. Or if you've another midfield guy you can recommend, thanks, James. Look, Zaha over Madison, if you haven't already got, and I'm going to presume you probably haven't. Warnock says Son and Vardy, or Kane and Madison. Son and Vardy for me. TJ Powell also, how was Eurovision last night? Scarred for life. Still here. Fuck it. Caught a bit of sun yesterday afternoon. Cog says, morning, James. Have 2 free hit chips left. Oh, no. Who's going to tell him? Thinking of going rogue today with 11 doublers, 3 Everton, Villa, Leicester, 2 Palace, or would you recommend 2, 3 definite single game week players? I hope, Cog, you're in Suj's position and you have a wild card and a free hit left, because if you have 2 free hits left, you can't use them both, mate. I'm sorry to break that to you. You cannot use the free hit chips in consecutive weeks. So you need to go back to basics and decide what's more important to you, changing your team this week or changing your team next week. And that's team dependent. For most people, it'll be changing it this week. For me, it's easier to change it next week. Nick Burke says, good day, James. On free hit this week. Prefer a City defender or one of your boys to go alongside Cash and Dean. Cheers again for all the content, legend. Cancelo by miles. Tottenham pick for this week. If you're going in, Sessegnon with the thinking of Dwight McNeil has lapses of concentration on that side. And to think back to Buendia's goal at Burnley last week. JP says, do you have a free hit draft? Your top 2 differential captains on free hit? Well, I think look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. If I was free hitting this week, I think I would be Pickford, Cash, Dean, Cancelo, something like Gordon, Son, KDB, Zaha, Richarlison, Ings, Vardy. Something like that, roughly. Daniel Thomas says, morning, James. Best defender for the final 2 game weeks. Budget not an issue. I already have Trent, Cancelo, Laporte, and James. For the final 2 weeks. I mean, it's a case if you put them both together, a Tottenham player, actually. There's a case to say it. Arguably Session. I mean, won a punt, a doubler this week. Villa, I think. Tom Borton says, hi, James. What are your memories of Naybet in the Spurs shirt? He was so good in that Super Deport team. Absolutely loved Noradine Naybet. Really good player. Shame that we had him so late in his career. He was so clever. So clever. Brilliant leader, even though he wasn't experienced English. Ledley learnt a lot playing with Naybet for a couple of months. Was really good for him. But he couldn't really run anymore. Problem. But yeah, he was really good, Naybet. Really good for 4 or 5 months or so, and then the pace of the league he found really difficult as the season went on. But he was really good, Naybet. Liked him. Darko Tarandek says, hi, James. Thoughts on the FA Cup final yesterday? Good luck. Great game. Don't know how it finished 0-0. Probably had the right winner. I thought Luis Diaz was phenomenal. And I've said it a few times now. That kid, star is the limit for him. What a talent. Liverpool could have had the game won inside 10 minutes, but Chelsea had plenty of good moments as well. Really enjoyed it. Really good game. Shame that there wasn't a goal physically to win that game. Z says, hi, James. Final 2 spots on free hit. Vardy and Coutinho, or Ings and Madison. Won't be using the additional money in B. The Vardy option. I think. Just. Dragon says, morning James, -4 to bring cash in and bench Rudiger. Cheers. I'm going to say yes. But just be conscious of 38. You'd probably rather have Rudiger sitting there. Last Chelsea home game last week, almost definitely plays against Watford, doesn't he? Lewis King says, morning James. He's definitely going to have a shot from 50 yards next week. That's a certainty. Lewis King says, morning James. Hope you're well. Huge fan of the pod. Would you activate your free hit if you had the likes of Salah, Laporte, VVD or take a -8? Feels hard to take a -8 when a free hit is there. Depends a lot on the rest of your team, Lewis, to be honest. I mean, what does your bench look like? I think Laporte's going to play. I ain't got any insight on that. I just know that he trained yesterday. And he did have heavy strapping around his knee. He certainly was wearing something that was protective of his knee. So it depends how he came through that. VVD or Salah would not expect to play on Tuesday. So I think -4. But again, it really depends what's on your bench, Lewis. If you'd set up to free hit 38, and I did kind of second guess it myself last night. I didn't second guess it for long. I was sticking to the plan. Vivek Gore says, would you have Kane or Vardy on a free hit? Slight preferences with Vardy. Alexander Trajowski says, hey legend, Salah to KDB or Salah on 4.5 million striker to Zaha and Richarlison for a -4. Prefer the -4, I think, mate. Just be careful it doesn't leave you with too many Everton Villa for next week. CM Punk 2310. Look in my eyes. What do you see? How likely do you think Vardy and Madison will start the Watford game? Either both worth the risk on free hit trying to maintain lead immunity. I think they both start. The best thing I can say to you, I know Sam Martin, who's really in the know with Leicester. He tweeted this morning and said he's got no information at the moment. Doesn't mean he won't get it by deadline, but I think the fact he's tweeting it said he hasn't got it. Probably not going to get it by 11:30. I don't think. Keep an eye on his timeline on Twitter. I'll certainly be doing the same. But I do know he's gone with both on his free hit, and that's his opinion saying. I think that's his opinion saying he thinks he'll start, and I'm of the same opinion. Your car says James Vardy or Kane on a free hit. Done this already. Ollie Blake says, morning James. Can't you Spurs? Just fucking have it. Notorious nerd Kulusevski status. He's sick, mate. Tottenham are going to make a late call on him. If he wakes up this morning, he's fine, he'll play. If he wakes up this morning, he's ill, won't play. Simple as that, basically. Audran Lawless Quinn says, morning James. Thoughts on Jotter versus Madison and Vardy versus Kane? Madison. Vardy versus Kane have done lots. Vivek Kaur is picked for the good shout for captain this week. I don't hate it, but I think there are better options knocking about. Shriniket says, do you predict Villa, Cash Dean scoring more or Mikalenko this double game week? I think the Villa players have got a better upside. Either worth a hit taking out Laporte or even Robbo Trent. Yes, and from the captaincy graphic. Slight preference for Luca Dean. I know, troll, but slight preference. Mo says, good morning, James. Trent and Robertson and Laporte on bench boost worth holding, or would you take hits to remove any of them? Oh my God. I despair for anybody who's held their bench boost for this week. Could be zeroed, a lot of them. That's awful. Awful. I feel for you. There's a lot of benches, I think, that if you even look at mine, Robertson, Laporte and Ketcher, like if they all play, that could be a big scoring bench boost. And I don't think it will hit the 25 I hit last week. Do you know what? I'm going to be really frank. I don't know what to say to that. I genuinely don't know what to say to that. James, you would think plays. Trent, the thing is, they could all play. They really could all play. I'm saying that I think if City win today, Liverpool probably go on a mass rotation. But I could have that completely wrong. You could take hits to get them out and they play and it's brutal. Or you leave it and they don't play and you get nothing from a bench boost. It's fucking awful. And then if they all play on Tuesday and you wait, there's no guarantee that they play on Saturday, particularly if the title's done. It's awful. Really is bad. I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. Oh fuck. I think I'd hedge my bets. Christ. Laporte, as I've said, I think it'd be all right. I think I'd move one of Trent or Robertson. I'd move one, I think. And not to like Shimikas, don't be clever about it. I think I'd move one to Cash or Dean. I think that's what I'd do. And I'd probably activate it. God, that is brutal, I think. Good luck. Azra Khan says, morning, James. Is it worth transferring in Son for KDB for free transfer? Nah, leave it be, mate. Jonathan Aves says, hi, James. Just wanted to say a big thank you for all the hard work you and Suja put in this year. Absolutely love the content. Have a great summer, boys. See you in August. Thank you, Jonathan. We're not done yet. We'll still be going to the end of the month. There won't be a deadline stream next Sunday afternoon, guys. I've got my ticket for Norwich away, so it's not happening. I will probably do something for you next Saturday, the day before. But I'm going to have to think about it. And I'm going on a beer today. So I'm bothered. Brian says, hi, mate. Do you think Ings gets 160 plus minutes this game week? No. Yeah, controversial. 140-ish. Alex Allegrata says, good luck all. Good luck, James. You're absolute legend. Thank you, mate. Have a good one. Shifa says, hi, James. Pick one start out. Gordon, Saka, Alonso. They're all on the bench in dilemmas, mate, I think. Or maybe Alonso's not, in fairness. You replace Alonso for James. Alonso. Just about. Alonso just over Gordon, I think. Notorious Nerd. Salah replacement. Zaha. Fuck the money and Zaha is the top call. Then KDB, then Son. Dread FPL says, morning, James. Happy Sunday. And to you too, mate. Best of luck. Oh, fuck me. Excuse me. It's too early. Ketan Chopper says, do I remove Sterling or Jesus or none? Yikes. I don't have... yeah, I think Jesus might start today. But it's a guessing game, isn't it? I think I'd move him. But Sterling, I think, particularly could haul if he does play. Notorious Nerd, keep or sell Saka. It's kind of bench dependent and stuff, isn't it? I mean, it worked for me to sell. I had a preference of Foden over him this week, which is a little risky. In the sense that there's no guarantee, obviously, that Foden starts. Again, quite dependent on your bench and stuff. He's obviously brilliant cover this week if you don't want to start him. Lamici says Mikalenko or Castagno for free here. I think I'm Mikalenko for me. But I'm sitting there with Schmeichel, so Castagno was never really in my mind. Still Mikalenko. Toby Evanson says, hi, James. Good luck for the week. Is Salah and Foden to KDB and Zaha for a -4 okay? Or do you think Salah to KDB for free? Hit the like, people. Probably would be Zaha with the double, I think. So I don't hate the -4. I mean, if Foden doesn't start, it's genius, isn't it? J Lord Broski says, hi, James. Hope you're good, pal. Please win tomorrow night, mate. Oh, just a draw, whatever. Salah injury yesterday makes me not want to go near him on free hit. Would you think Foden, Cancelo or Jotter James? Foden, Cancelo, mate. Genuine. Mayank Punch says, hi, James, on a free hit. Dean or Cash? Sorry, I think I'm going to sneeze. Shit. Fuck, sorry. Dean. Just. Vivek Gore, would you have Gordon or Madison on a free hit? Gordon, because it just fits in others, frankly. Alistair Coper, morning, mate. Trying to decide if Madison is worth risking. I mean, if it's a choice on money, then I'd go with Madison. Upside is better. Alistair Coper says, morning, mate. Trying to decide if Madison is worth risking without seeing the Leicester lineup pre-deadline. What do you reckon? If not, I've got 9.5 million. Got Zaha and Max 7 Villa already on your ideas. I'd go for it. Go for it. 2 weeks ago, what's the worst that'll happen? It won't play. Jay Dobrowski also says, good luck today on last home game of the season. Thank you, bruv. Good luck tomorrow night, mate. FPL Najib says Kane and Madison or Vardy and Mahrez on free hit. Can I say Vardy and Foden? But Mahrez, if you think Mahrez starts, Mahrez. What's Luke gone with? I haven't seen Luke's tweet, actually. And to be honest, we're about 25 minutes to deadline, so it's probably a good time to just kind of have a check on my messages, see if we've got anything of interest. Bear with me, people. This is the right thing to do. No one's tagged me to anything. Villa, Everton. No, I've not got anything that's useful for you at this stage. What did Luke go with his predicted City lineup? Man is a fucking genius. FF Scout _ Luke. What's he gone with? Maybe nothing. Luke, where's your predicted City team? Luke said 11 hours ago. Sorry if you have DM'd me about City. I'm currently working unplanned hours once again. I'll do a prediction, but I will have to wait. Apologies. This is easier than responding to everyone. Meanwhile, check Jump the Wave. I think Jump the Wave, Emma's people of predictions had... let's have a look what they went with. So 83% had Mahrez starting, 78% had Foden starting. Some of those are fairly good numbers. 52% Sterling, only 43% for Jesus, 35% for Grealish. So I mean, look, there's none of them are in there at 100%, right? So inconclusive. Ritwick says, good morning, James. At 450k, want to halve my ranks. Is a free hit team of... I can't read your whole free hit team, mate, but good luck, mate. You've got some good players in there. I can certainly say that. Stian Boster says, Watkins still being a doubt. Does that make Ings or Coutinho more in danger of rotation? Yeah, they are in danger of rotation, makes this double game week. I think the call today is probably Watkins or Buendia, isn't it? I think. They're both at rotation risk for the second game. Of course they are. FPL Marking Coyote. Hi, James. Do you think Dean starts both? If he makes it through the first one without trolling everyone, probably yes. Ross Johnson says, you house share with Timo Pukki, Will Smobone, Luis Diaz and Tyrone Mings. Someone's eating your special edition lime flavoured Jaffa cakes. Who's the culprit? Why is it? Who's buying the fucking lime ones is more the point. Tyrone Mings. Florentin P says, hi James, Gordon or Gray on free hit? Gordon. I don't think Gray's guaranteed to start. Calvert-Lewin could. I don't think he will. Could come back in, particularly for the second game as well. And I think in that case, I think Gray's the most likely to miss out. Prabesh says, Coutinho and Anderson, Castagne, any viable option, or Madison and Dean combo. On that one, I think the Dean... Ritwick says, should I play Castagne or Anderson? I think if you've got Castagne, you gamble that. I think. It'd be handy to know if Gahey was fit or not, because I think that's a big blow for Palace if he's not, and that could certainly impact Anderson. Nelvin says, on free hit, Madison or Coutinho? I mean, definitely Coutinho if you think he'll start twice. But I wouldn't be convinced on it. I think if it were me, I'd go double Villa. I'd go Cash and Dean and Ings. So Madison, I think. Steve says, surely Son has more motivation for captain than KDB. What's your reasoning on the right? The correct score prediction is 2-0 Tottenham, 4-2 Man City. That's it. It's simple as that. I think City could go off today. Atul says, hey James, I'm captain Zaha. I wish there was a support group for others like me. Good luck, James. Also, would you keep Cancelo on a free hit? Yes, I would keep Cancelo on a free hit. Look, I spoke about it on Friday's pod. I really, really have thought about Zaha, captain. I've got him second. And I think he's a great pick for a majority of people. SP says, start Kulusevski or Watkins. I think start Watkins, mate. Vivek Gore says, would you have Luis Diaz on a free hit? I wouldn't have any Liverpool player on a free hit, frankly. Arguably the best Liverpool choice on a free hit is Shimikas. Frees up money in the rest of your team, and there's every chance he might start. Alexander Barker says, morning James, any chance Sessignon outscores Mikalenko and Madison this week? Can I be honest, Alexander, what sort of question is that? Is there any chance? Well, of course there's a chance. I need to bench one. Good luck, everyone except my mini-league rival. You played a doubler, don't you, mate? Let's be realistic here, I think. James Brenner says, hi, James. Would you bring in Mikalenko for White on a free and bench Kulusevski or just hold the transfer. Cheers. I think I'd do that. But again, just make sure you're not leaving yourself with too much Everton Villa next week. Andrew Jarvis says, morning, James. No question this week, but just wanted to thank you for your help and support this season. Good luck for the game week. No problem, Jarvo. Thank you for all your support, mate. Good luck. Josh Hinchcliffe says, hey, James, would you take a -4 for Weghorst to Ings? Would probably move it on again for free in 38. Cheers. Yes, I would. Notorious Nerd says, Madison or Foden, one to buy. At this stage, I think you gambled a doubler, right? Florian says, happy Sunday. Could you elaborate on Vardy over Kane for captaincy? I have the dilemma to choose one on free hit, and it has knock-on effects on 3-4 other players and may cause benching headaches. Cheers. Yeah, quite simple. I've got Leicester back to score 5 goals this game week, and ironically, that might even be the most. I think Vardy starts today, and I think on today alone, I think Leicester will outscore Tottenham. So that's it. And then the Chelsea game's a bonus. FPL Invincible, morning, James. I've used my free transfer for Salah to Son. I'm thinking about Breyer to Ings or Kulusevski, Saka to Zaha. Which one to prioritise? So Breyer to Ings or Kulusevski, Saka to Zaha. Zaha, I think. Walsh says, some effort, James. Cheers, mate. You're very welcome, mate. Good luck. Andy Martin, morning, James, from my bed. Good morning, Andy. I wish you luck today, my friend. Not just your FPL team, but obviously especially Leeds, mate. Jack Tasker says, hi, James. Have you seen posts from FPL villains somewhere in replies suggest Watkins may start today? Be very careful with that. So who's replying? FPL villain's pretty decent, to be honest, but you're saying it's in one of the replies. Listen, if it's a nobody in the replies, like, we have to take no notice of this sort of shit, honestly. Listen, I'm not going to be surprised. I think there's been a bit of a hyperbole around Watkins. I spoke about this with our patrons. Basically, people say, oh, he hasn't trained all week. When he played Tuesday, he wouldn't have worked hard Wednesday. He missed training Thursday, Friday. It's not short of match fitness. It's just a case of, is he pain or not? If he's pain-free, he probably starts, doesn't he? I just looking through these replies. Listen, whoever said it, it's probably not important. Sorry. TJ Powell, hi James, how you doing? Would you go Salah to KDB for a -8? Would drop my mini league lead to 23, but blocks off most of my rivals. Look, if you're just looking to defend, TJ, then yes. Obviously, it's not a -8, it's -4. Just forget what's done. -4. Salah to KDB. Yes. If you need to cover. And arguably anyway, to be honest. Excuse me. I mean, Salah might not play again this season, right? Jay says, good morning, James. Is it worth selling Salah for Madison or Zaha with Mateta to Vardy on a -4, or only move on Salah while starting Ramsey? I own KDB and Son already as a premium. Yeah, I take the -4, mate. Pushcast says, hi James, is Kulusevski injured? Unwell. I have 0 in the bank. Should I take a hit for whom? Look, we may get some information in the next 20-25 minutes, possibly. He was ill yesterday. That's the reality. If he wakes up and he goes, oh, I'm fine, he'll play. He'll play. If he's not, he won't. Again, what's on your bench, mate? I don't think there's much below his value that's of interest. Arguably, if you don't have Gordon, that's going to facilitate. Possibly Dewsbury Hall or Jacob Ramsey as well. Other than that, there's nothing in between that's worthwhile, in my opinion. Don't be looking at John McGinn's and stuff like that, in my opinion. Q, John McGinn, highest scorer of the week. I do like John McGinn. He's always capable of a goal because he's got a shot on him. That's not the right choice for this week, though. C Tobbs, FPL Lion says, Madison or Luis Diaz on a free hit? Madison. Andy Martin says, I can't see us getting anything Brighton today. Worst fixture. Unfortunately, Andy, I'm in agreement, mate. Well, I wouldn't say I can't see. That's not true. I don't think you will. Garlic25 says 3-5-2 with Coutinho, Kane and Richarlison, or 3-4-3 with Ings instead of Coutinho. Pretty set on. I'd go to Ings, mate. Tim Lum says on free hit, trying to decide between Madison or risk of one of Jotter Diaz. What would you say, Madison? Jonathan says, morning James, got 30 minutes to do my free hit. Well planned. Give me one must have and one maverick punt. Just plan to have a bit of fun with this. One must have one Maverick. Maverick, Buendia. That really is as well. And no, I don't think you should, Pushka, I don't think you should get Buendia instead of Kulusevski. I'll go Buendia as the Maverick. It's never a must-have. But I will say Richarlison. That's who I'm captain. Jonathan says, that's what we've just done. Wally says, James, you gorgeous human. Get down the Specsavers, mate. If you had to pick one for this week only, which would it be? Madison, Jotter, Diaz. Look, guys, you're not going to get positivity from me on the Liverpool assets. And of course, if they play, they could go off. Of course they could. And they're going to be chasing goals and stuff like that. You're not going to get advice from me that's positive on the Liverpool players right now. Pushcast says, I'm playing bench boost this week. Should I take Fofana or a -8 for Holgate? Fofana's 4.3. I have 0 in the bank. I think Fofana plays, so leave that be, probably. John Cahill says, morning, James. Would you start Saka or Weghorst or transfer Saka out to Madison and have Weghorst first bench if Robertson or Trent doesn't play? Yeah, option B, mate, the second option. Haiku News says, morning, James. Ings or Richarlison? Ing going to captain one or Son? For me, it's Richarlison. Ryan Walker says, on free hit, got KDB and Son. Don't really fancy Kane or Vardy instead of Salah. Another City mid. Foden. Vishal says, ideal free hit team, James. I have covered that already. I'm not going to do it again. Well, I wouldn't say it's ideal, but I covered what I would pick. Mahmood says, surprised to see Son 6th in captaincy. That's okay. Aritravo says, hello, James. Good luck for the game week. Cheers. And to you too, mate. David James, Whiteway, Leeds are doomed. Paul Lewis says, hi, James. Hope you're well. Ings and Son or Vardy. Ings and Son, mate. Good luck, mate, on a free hit like you in 38. Shin Sekai says, on free hit, Kane or Vardy. Vardy, have done this a lot, and I have to choose one from Madison, Coutinho, Lewis, Diaz, Jota. Coutinho. Ben Eddington says, morning, James. Who scores more points last 2 games, Nketiah or Tony, in your opinion? Brentford got Everton away. Close. But I think, like, if you're looking to move one on, like, I think you're better off keeping Nketiah, because it's going to facilitate better for value next week. Literally that. So I think when it's close like that, keep the cheaper of the two. I do think there's a small possibility that Lacazette might start tomorrow night. Small. And Nketiah does not deserve to be dropped. But the thinking behind, and I do think Nketiah will play, my thinking behind that is Arsenal are a bit short of experienced players at the moment, and he might just want Lacazette to drop in and give them a more link in midfield, possibly. But it'd be so harsh on him. I think if you're selling, I think I'd keep Nketiah off the two. If you're buying, I'd question why you're doing that now. John Cahill says, I see 2-0 to the Seagulls. Does that mean Trossard captain is a go? No, you're not going to get a recommendation on that. Tom Sleeman says, thoughts on Castagna or Justin on a free hit? Castagna, I think, a little bit more likely to get the 2. Tim Salter said, do we have an update on Jacob Ramsey? Yeah, been training, I think. But I don't think he's certain to come back in, actually. Ryan Walker says, given Trent and Robertson tired from FA Cup, do I go Dean or Cancelo instead? Already got my Miko and Cash. Cheers. Yes. Suresh says, good morning, James. Just want to thank you for the content you guys are creating. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. And I recommend everyone to hit the subscribe and like button. Good luck to everyone. Yeah. Thumbs. There are, oh my God, about 600 of you nearly in here at the moment. Hit the like button. Pete Haley says, hi, James. Would you get rid of Nketiah and Robbo? It doesn't cost anything, so just click the thumb, right? Pete Haley says, hi, James. Would you get rid of Nketiah and Robertson -8 for Vardy? Who else you getting, mate? I can't answer that. Himesh says, 2 free hits. Oh, no. Chim says, Jota or Luis Diaz on free hit. Fucking hell. Diaz. Ragav says, triple captain Son this week or next? I think it's next, isn't it? Tag says, morning, James. Play Weghorst or Saka? I've got Weghorst above Saka on the benching dilemmas, mate. Alexander Barker, hi, James. What is your reasoning for Zaha over Madison? I'm torn over the two. You put it more goals for Leicester. Yes, I do. But I also know that Palace might only score 2 this week and Zaha could get both. whereas Leicester could get 5 and Madison might not have an involvement. That's it. It's talisman status is the real reason there, mate. Matthew Hall says double Everton defence will play Cancelo over Mikalenko. Oh, that's tough. I think you play the doubler. I think I've got 2 home games. I think you go to doubler. Off Spinnery in a hurry. Jotter or Vardy in your opinion, James? Vardy. Ragav says also start Martinelli or Richarlison. Really? Really? Okay. Not that Martinelli can't. I don't think Martinelli's even guaranteed to start tomorrow. I've actually got Smith Rowe coming in for him in my predicted Arsenal team for tomorrow. It's Richarlison. Nick Burke says Jota, Diaz, Mane for Liverpool attacking coverage on a free hit this week. God's sake, Diaz. Yologio, who to bench, James or Robertson? Robertson. David James Whiteway. James hat-trick, right foot, left foot and a header. Game week 39. Fact. Definitely not. Thoroughly enjoyed yesterday though. We had a little training session ahead of game week 39. And I think I might have worked my way into the starting 11. That's all I'm going to say. Ishan Bart says VVD Robertson to Emerson and Saka to Zaha. By the way, do not get me in your game week 39 teams. Ishan says VVD Robertson to Emerson and Saka to Zaha for -8. I'm going to say yes. I can't believe that. Alistair Hargroves, Son in for Salah and Ketcher in for Dennis and Saka out for Zaha -8. I presume you need to go to Nketiah to facilitate. That's my guess here. Yes. Text Villa. -4 or not. Like, I love that text. -4 or not. No. No, don't do it. Take -16, pal. Read the bio. Matthew Knight says start Nketiah or Saka. Saka. James Nelson says, just want to thank you for the stream this season. Haven't missed a single one. You're going to miss next week, sorry. On free hit and, of course, for best finish. So thanks for advice. Thank you, James. I don't press the buttons, mate. You do. Good luck. Kevin Koss says, have enjoyed your streams. Thank you, Kevin. Bob Farrell, are Everton a double game week trap? Yeah, probably, mate. But we're still going there, aren't we? Good morning, Harry. Pete Haley says, hi again. Do you think going Trossard over Nketiah is a smart punt? Where's the Trossard love coming from? I know he scored a shitload of points recently, but I mean, that's a no from me. Jack Tasker says, to the person who said about bench boost with TA, Laporte, etc., save it for next week when they're more likely to start. Yeah, but Jack, there's no guarantee they're going to start next week, mate. Think about it. If City won the title and Laporte's possibly been carrying an injury, do they force him through today and go, right, you're done, mate, and play a kid next week if the title's done? Do TAA and that play next week if it's done with the Champions League the following week? I don't think it helps, Jack. Andrew Jarvis says, prices see James speechless on the final deadline stream of the season. Bench boost this game week is the advice from Jarvo. I think that's probably right. Toby Evanson, James live vlog from Norwich game. No chance. Literally none. It's not happening. Sorry. I'm supporting my team. That's my priority. Ben Morban says, Vegels to Ings -4. Yes. Driss says, hi Madison and Dean. All right, Madison, Dean, or Cancelo and Gordon on free hit. I think Madison and Dean, to be honest. Dev says, awesome content always helps me improve my rank in my league. Good luck, Dev. Andy P says, morning, James, on a free hit. Only have Diaz in from Liverpool, tempted to change to Madison. What do you think? Yes. Daniel Barriero says, Zaha or Saha. That's right, confused me. But it is obviously Zaha or Madison. Zaha, mate. Maneem says Luis Diaz or KDB on a free hit. KDB by miles. Sal says, what are your thoughts on Zaha this week? Great option. Simple as that. Not got anything else to add. Gareth Payton didn't know the Kulusevski concerns. Zaha for him for a -4. Thanks for the earlier answer, by the way. Cemented my decision to save free hit for 38. But man, these flags scare me. I try and leave this late, just in case there's anything possibly on Spurs. But, can I be honest with you, I'd be very tempted to do that -4 anyway. Very tempted. Let me see if I've got any news for you spreading about. Thank you, Ben Cameron, for that message. That guy is not reliable. He's a chancer. He's not reliable. He's not reliable, mate. So someone has tweeted, it's an account called Spurs Lion has tweeted that Kulusevski starts. He's tweeted it at 9 o'clock this morning, and he's just playing a guessing game. He doesn't know anything. There's nowhere anyway. He knows that everybody who's got a little bit of ITK on this has said they're going to see how he feels this morning. He suddenly got that info at 9 o'clock in the morning, has he? I don't think he has. I really don't think he has. And he's guessed loads in the past and been wrong loads in the past, so I'll take no notice of that. But thanks for shouting it, Ben. No, I've not got anything else of interest, unfortunately. Ben Edison says, hi mate, I know week in advance, best under 7.5 million mid last game week. Kulusevski. Shahid Hussain says, does Spurs versus Burnley come under the early kickoff curse? Last time Spurs played 12:30, they lost to Brighton. I never captained the early kickoff. I really hope not, mate. But I suppose possibly it does. Arnav 4896 says, not sure if already covered thoughts on Vardy, Madison minutes. 140-ish. Angel Ross says, hi mate, on a free hit and deciding between Madison or Barnes or Luis Diaz or Jotter. Madison Diaz. Shin Sakai says, on free hit, Dean in for Trent or Cancelo for Trent. Sombo G, who to captain, Zaha or Son? Cheers, bottom right hand corner of the screen. Sal says, what are your thoughts on? I've done that. WI2, I don't answer questions in capital letters, mate. Especially ones as boring as Start, Deng, Donker or Nketiah. Okay. Alina Manzi says, best captain option, Richarlison, Son or Ings. But right hand corner of the screen, Alina. Cheers. Intakab says, Kane and Coutinho, Mane and Ings. That's Kane. Samir says, assuming Watkins starts both, captain Watkins, Zaha, Kane, Son. I don't think we can captain Watkins at this moment. Zaha is the choice from that. Charles John says, should I still Kulusevski for Barnes? Why is this not charging again? I need this phone today. What's the question? Should I sell Kulusevski for Barnes? Says Charles John. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, whatever. David James Whiteway. Hits. Everyone takes hits. You ASAP. Okay, thanks. Cheers, David. Dan Moss says, hi, James. Thanks for everything this season. Would you do Pookie to Ings if you already have Watkins? Yes, I would. Gareth Payton. Everyone hit like 500 of us here getting the free gold content. Let's make sure we give James the credit via the like button. Thank you very much, Gareth. Much appreciated. Roger Booth says, sell Saka or Kulusevski for Zaha. Possibly depends on your bench a little bit, but I think that the answer right here, right now, is to say sell Kulusevski, isn't it? Sam Thomas says, would you move Ramsey out for a -4 this week if on bench boost? No, I'd probably go with it, I think. Would be my response to that. I'm just trying to check on shit, guys, see if we've got anything concrete. No, we haven't at this stage. Wazif Ibrahim, who should I start, Kula or Nketiah? I think you start Kulusevski and the other players who doesn't. Christian says, heard a rumour of Kulusevski leaving train yesterday with illness. Is it true? Have you heard anything? I've covered this lots. Lewis Wackelin says, cheers for all the content this year, mate. Undecided on Madison or Gordon on a free hit. To be honest, if the money's no object, you go Madison, right? Stian says, 500 people watching. Use them thumbs for fuck's sake and like the stream, you wallops. Listen to Stian. He's a good man. Voicing says, morning pal, 2 questions. Do you go to a pub down the lane? Would love to meet. I don't normally, but I will be in the Beehive after the game today. Me and Jack Toner at Turfy Top, our Burnley correspondent. I'm going to meet him after the game, so if anybody's at the lane today and wants to come and say hello after the game, I'll be in the Beehive, which is down by Bruce Grove. I'll probably be there till the end of the football, I should imagine. P. Macca says, I hope your predictions are right. Oh, sorry, I didn't do your other question. 3.5k rank and done Salah, Kulusevski, Havertz and Pookie to Son, Foden, Zaha and Richie from -8. Good move, you think? I really like that, mate. Good luck. P. Macca says, hope your predictions are right, kid. Oh, look at this. Yeah, it's the oil of Ule, isn't it? Mad says, hello, bench Dyer, Pookie or Saka? Pookie. Martin Beasley says, yeah. Martin Beasley says, on -4, should I change VVD? Yeah, I'd move it. Mark Cobb says, does Sessegnon score more than Dean over the next 2 game weeks? It's going to be close, I think. I'm going to say no. Ben Eddington says, how highly for you does that last Arsenal game rate in your all-time North London derbies? High-ish. I'd say nowhere near the top, purely because I think that my favourite one was the 2-0, the last one at the White Hart Lane, I think. Oh, no, actually, that's not true. The 5-1 in the Cup. I think that there'll be a few others that have been more intense and stuff like that. The 2010 win kind of was, we hadn't beaten for 10 years and stuff like that. So, yeah, up there, but not right at the top. Anything says, Richarlison on 4 yellow cards, risky. It's definitely not, mate, 'cause he needs 15 for a suspension at this stage. OG Noz says, might have been covered, but on benching dilemma, no tick on Mount versus Saka. Any advice? Cheers, James. What do you mean there's no tick? What do you mean there's no tick? Do you want me to put it right in front of you? Shall I put it right in front of you? Oh, why is there no tick? That's random. That's incredible. What's happened there, Captain? You're right, there is no tick. But yeah, Saka. Saka's the answer. That's so close between the two of them, though. Great spot. Fair play. Charles John, any update on Kulusevski? No, not yet. I'm looking, but I've got nothing. Alistair Hargreaves says, don't need Nketiah for money. Punt on Tony. Don't need Nketiah for... what? I don't want Brentford. Everton away, Leeds home. It's decent fixtures, but I'm just... Yeah, look, if you think you're going to want him in 38 as well, fine. Just not for me. Suja's tweeted his team. Says, almost forgot deadline, played free hit. I really like what Suja's gone with here, actually. He's gone Pickford, Cancelo, Dean, Cash, Zaha, Son, Madison, De Bruyne, Vardy, Ings, Richarlison. I really like what he's done there. That's a really good team, in fairness. That would be very close to what I'd go for on free hit. I like that. That's a really good free hit. It's unusual for me to compliment that bastard, isn't it? Right, there's one specific Twitter account I want to keep an eye on. That's not the guy. And it's obviously Kulusevski news that I'm obviously looking for here. That's not going to work as a search, is it, James? Sorry, this is terrible content. Hit the like button. Ben Fowler, use spare money to go from Foden to KDB. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a case for that if you want to. Mahajran, non-FPL question, Haaland or Mbappe to Spurs? We are allowed to dream, aren't we? I just really think you need to put the cannabis away, mate. Josh Charles says Mikalenko or Holgate. If money's not a problem, Mikalenko, mate. Mohammed Amin says Coutinho or Luis Diaz or Jotter Coutinho. Ben Eddington, last one from me, mate. If you get to do it before deadline, who to start? Mateta, White, Saka. Seeing you went Mateta over Saka, what's your thinking? My thinking is I don't overly fancy Saka for a return tomorrow night, and Mateta starts one of the games, possibly even two. What's the question? Yeah, Mateta. There you go. I've explained it. Kendall says, is Richarlison... No. Who's the fuck's nonsense? Right. Espen says, hi James, thanks for you great content. Who would you prefer? Mings, Madison, Castagne, Anderson, Coutinho. Probably the Madison option, I think. Connor Norton, Ings or Richarlison, captain, bottom right hand corner of the screen, or even top right hand corner of the screen, mate. Voicing says, I go to the Beehive anyway, so hopefully see you down there. Come and say hello, mate, don't be shy. Craig Kemp says, Salah to Son and have 2 free transfers in 38, or do Salah and Breyer to Zaha and Vardy for free. Salah to Son and have 2 free transfer in 38. Or do Salah and Breuer to Zaha and Vardy for free. I mean, yeah, get them done, I think, mate. David James Whiteway can't decide. Son or KDB captain. Scared about Burnley board draw 0-0. Hope I'm wrong. Come on, you Spurs. Go KDB then, mate. Chim, thanks Jack Tasker. Chim says Mane and Vardy or Diaz and Kane. Christ. Jesus, Diaz and Kane. Fuck, man. Text says the best deadline stream. Cheers, mate. Nick Burke, you getting on the frothies for a win today? I am. Well, win, lose or draw. I'm going to meet Jack after the game. There is someone who had some interesting information on Liverpool who said no Kulusevski. And I say interesting Liverpool information because he was right about Liverpool information on Tuesday. It is quite a small Twitter account. He's saying no Kulusevski. I don't know if that's reliable or not, guys. Really, really don't know. But that it's more likely to be, in terms of the information, it's more likely to be right than Spurs Lion. I know is just guessing. Doesn't mean his guess is wrong, by the way, but I know that he's just guessing. I feel like it's more important that I share information if I have any potentially at the moment rather than your questions, possibly. Thanks for that, by the way, Tim, if you're watching. Peter G, morning, James. Sky question, Cancelo or Kane for today's captain? Whew. Kane. Reece Bending says thoughts on Kulusevski style. Dan Moss said, I think the good news with Kulusevski for most of you is he'll either play or he won't. Reality. I don't think he's likely to be a sub. Dan Moss says play or bench Laporte. It depends what the rest of your team is, mate. Gareth Payton Baker from Above Average Pod has vouched for someone who said Kulusevski not playing. That was enough for me to take the -4, but went Coutinho over Zaha. Baker's a great lad, and if he's got some info, then I would be inclined to trust that. P. Macca says, boss content all season, kid. Thank you, Toffees fan. Cheers, mate. Good luck today. Jake Atherton says, Schmeichel could be dropped. Team news and tricks just said. Woo! That's a potentially interesting one. He said, I'm not 100%, but I'm told there could be a surprising goal for Leicester today. Hate tweeting this early because hard to be sure, but FPL Deadline, etc. I can't take a -4 on that information. He's even saying himself is not, and he's very accurate. But there's no guarantee that that's right based on his tweet. Jake Atherton saying Kulusevski's travelled. Lamichi saying Schmeichel may be dropped. David James Whiteway, best FPL content for years. Thank you, very welcome. Espen says, thanks, James. Would you go for Mings or for Dean? I would have gone for Dean. I think that's been clear throughout this stream. And I'm sorry, guys, it's 10:30 a.m. and my team's playing at an hour and a half. I am off. Hit the like and subscribe button. Subscribe button on your way out of the stream. No deadline stream next week. Sorry, my priorities are my football team. But I will try and do something for you at some point next Saturday. Gareth Payton just saying, Alistair Gold just confirmed Kulusevski has travelled. I would think, therefore, that he probably starts. Jordan Wood, Spurs line is not always spot on. He tends to delete the shit that's wrong. I promise you, mate. But it looks like his guess this time is correct. Right. Gonna leave it there, guys. I've got to go. Right, fuck it. Love you all. Me and Suj will be back Monday. 2 main pods next week, Monday and Friday. Final clash to correspondence Thursday is Norwich versus Tottenham with FPL Badger and Ricky Saunders. People's Poll Tuesday. Sky Pod Wednesday. Come and support us on Patreon. If you've enjoyed these streams, £3 a month gets you into Slack. I'm going to start doing huddles on there. We're going to have our own little private podcast. You can get them from £3 a month. I'll certainly do it for next season anyway. Right, guys, much love. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Join us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/planetfpl. If you've enjoyed these streams this season, give us some love, support the content. Much love. Go Spurs. Ciao for now, everyone.